Hello, Ice Station Zero back here again. This time it's for my PlayStation 2 Collection. So let's get started. Right here I have my PS2, made by Sony, released in 2000, the year 2000. Let's see. It was very hard to find when it first came out. They didn't make enough of them, and there's very high demand for it, so it was very hard to find. Luckily, my parents were able to track one down, and I got one for that Christmas, and I was very excited to get it. It is the best-selling console in history, with 155 million units sold, making it the #1 selling console in history. It was in production for over 12 years, from 2000 on to 2012, which is one of the longest runs in history, and it's one of my favorite consoles. Not my personal favorite. My personal favorite would be the Super Nintendo, but this might be a close second or third. Great console, lots of great games. Why did it do so well? Well, is mainly the games and the graphics, but it also had a 1-year start over the competition, which was the Nintendo GameCube and the original Xbox. Plus, it was backwards compatible with PlayStation 1 games, making even more games playable on this. I forget the exact number of games available for the PS2, but it's a lot. And plus all the original PlayStation games, there's a ton of those. So people loved the original PlayStation, and they had to have the PS2. Oh, and also it was a DVD player, right when DVDs came out, so that was cool. That was really exciting for me. I already had a DVD player at the time, but it was cool to be able to just play them on this. So, brief overview of the system. This is what it looks like. Kind of looks like a old school DVD player or VCR or something. This is the original model. It's now known as the fat model because they later released a slim model. It was a little smaller and thinner. But this is the fat model. This is what you got if you bought it at launch or one of the first few years that it was out. It's a lot like the original PlayStation 1. It has 2 controller ports and 2 memory card slots. This is the disc tray right here. This is the open button. This is the on reset button. Disc tray slides out, and you put the game in, and slides back in. Has some venting right here, 2 USB ports, some other port for something, I don't know what it's for. Fan in the back. Expansion bay. This was for the modem because it was after a few years of it being out. They released a modem so you could play games online. This was right when online gaming for consoles, home consoles started to become popular. So on-off switch and power switch in the back. You can turn it on and off with the front switch, but this would shut off power completely. There's the AC adapter port, AV in and out, and that's it. So let me show you the controllers that I have. I have 2 black DualShock 2 controllers. As you can see, they are wired. They did still have wired controllers back then. Just close up, it's a lot like the original PlayStation controller with the X, O, square, and triangle buttons, 4 shoulder buttons, analog button that lights up red when you press it, so you can use the analog joystick, start and select. And yeah, it's basically exactly the same as the DualShock 1, only it's black. And you know, it's a great controller. You know, a lot of people like the Xbox 360 controller. It's very similar, except the left analog stick is up here on the 360 controller, whereas here on the Sony it's down here next horizontal or next to the right analog stick. So yeah, and I have 2 controllers, and I have 2 official Sony PlayStation 2 memory cards. They're 8 megabytes each. They hold all the game data that I have on them. They're great items. So, without further ado, let's jump into the games, shall we? Okay, welcome back. We're going to jump into my PS2 games that I have. I have 23 of them, but stick around. I got some good ones. going to be fun. So let's get started. First off, Grand Theft Auto 3. Wow, what a great game. I got this the Christmas it came out. A little backstory. I had Grand Theft Auto 2 for the original PlayStation. I remember playing it at my friend's house growing up, and it was a greatest hits edition, so 3 was about to come out, and in the jewel case for Grand Theft Auto 2, they had an advertisement for Grand Theft Auto 3, and it showed pictures of the 3D graphics that are in the game. I think it showed this picture right here, actually. And yeah, I was like so excited because Grand Theft Auto 2, of course, was the top-down 2D view, and this was going to be in 3D. And I love the Grand Theft Auto, the idea of being an open world and being able to do whatever you want, pretty much, and kill people, get in trouble with the law, do missions, all kinds of stuff that you can do. Drive around, listen to the radio, I'm sure most of you played Grand Theft Auto, one of them. They're a lot of fun. So, yeah, great game. And when I saw the advertisement for Grand Theft Auto 3 and the GTA 2 jewel case, I was psyched. And so was my friend, and we're like, wow, that's going to be awesome when it comes out. And it was. I got it the Christmas it came out. And it's such a fun game. It's full 3D. You play as this nameless guy. And you just go around doing missions for the mafia and various gangster organizations, and it's a great game. It really is. Yeah. Let me see. It comes with a map and the manual. Here's the map of the world. So you can see it's quite large, and in the sequels, the games that came after GTA 3, the worlds are even bigger. And basically you just drive around the city. Is based on New York City. It's called Liberty City, and it's a free roaming game. One of the first games to ever do that. Might even be the first game to ever do that. I don't know. So great game. Let's see. Its sequel was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. It takes place in the 80s in basically Miami. They call it Vice City, and it's great. It really is. You play as Tommy Vercetti, who's wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt, and it's beach town, and it's basically the same as Grand Theft Auto 3. You do missions in an open world for you commit crimes and get away with it. And yeah, it's a great game. It's probably my favorite Grand Theft Auto game ever. It was just the most fun, I think. It was just a blast. I love the music in this game. Next one, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This one you play as CJ, and you're in what's basically LA, San Francisco, and Las Vegas. So yeah, it's a great game. More of the same. I never beat this game because I got stuck on the mission where you're in a plane and you have to fly through rings. It's so hard. The controls in Grand Theft Auto were never its strong point. And when you fly a plane, it's so hard. There's a lot of planes in this game, a lot more than Vice City, and there's only one plane in GTA 3, and that has its wings clipped, so it takes a lot of skill to fly it. This game has a lot of planes and helicopters and stuff. But it's hard to fly, so I got caught on that mission. I'm just never able to beat this game, but it's still a great game, and I love the setting of Southern California. It's great. Next is Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. Great game. This is one of the reasons I bought a PlayStation 2. I remember this came out when I was in 9th grade. I got it for Christmas, and it was a blast. I had just beaten the original Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation 1. Had a blast with it. I just love the gameplay mechanics of stealth and all the things you can do if you played it, and the cutscenes, the story is amazing. It's so cinematic. It's just a brilliant game. And this took it to the next level. Better graphics, better controls, more control options, and a great story. Yeah, I can't recommend this game enough. Metal Gear Solid 2. A lot of people hated on it because in the second chapter of the game, which is like 80% of the game, you don't play as the main character Solid Snake, who you see here on the cover. You play as Raiden. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I don't think it matters. And he's not as cool as Solid Snake. I think most people would agree. And and it was kind of surprising because in the first game you play as Solid Snake, and then the second one all of a sudden you're not, and it's kind of weird. Although Solid Snake is in the game, he's in the first chapter. You play as him. And he also makes an appearance in the story in the second chapter, but I won't give that away. But I really like this game. I didn't mind too much that you don't play a Solid Snake. It would have been cooler if you did. And the story got a little convoluted. It's kind of hard to follow. In the ending, when I first beat it, I didn't really like it. But now I beat it several times. The subsequent playthroughs, I did enjoy it more. Kind of understood it a little better. But yeah, it's still a great game to play. Must play if you're a video game fan. Next up is God of War. It's another popular game. I didn't know this used sticker was on here. I need to take that off. Yeah, I don't like stickers on my games. Is there one on the front? No. Yeah, look at that GameStop sticker right there on there. I gotta take that off. Yeah, it's a great game though. It's a hack and slash 3D brawler. You just run around as you play as the God of War. What is his name? Is it Ares? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But you play as this guy who you see on the cover, and you go around killing, enemies with your, I don't even know what to call it, axe-like thing that's on a chain. You swing it around. You kill people. You do combos. And it's a lot of fun. I never beat it because some of the puzzles can be challenging. I'm not a big puzzle guy in video games, but I did like the game. I do want to beat it one of these days. Maybe I'll get around to it. But yeah, it's a fun game, and I do recommend it. Got that sticker off, thank God. While we're doing this, God of War 2. This is a sequel. Also never beat this one either, but it's basically the same as the first one. Oh, and I didn't mention with the first one, it takes place in a ancient Greek setting. So you have different Greek gods that you interact with and do that kind of stuff. It's really cool. If you like Greek mythology, it's a lot of fun. I find it fascinating. And this one came with a bonus DVD. There's the game, there's the DVD, and it has some behind-the-scenes features, which is pretty cool, so that's kind of neat. This is one of my games I played so much of, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I love the first two Tony Hawk games. Still haven't played the fourth one, but I'm going to get around to it. This is probably my favorite Tony Hawk game, though. Just so much fun. I remember one summer I bought this game, and I just played it all summer long. I would do nothing. I would wake up at noon and just play Tony Hawk 3 all effing day. It was just great. All fucking day. And, and you can... the levels design are great, the graphics are great, the controls are great. You can one thing I like that they added in this game that wasn't in the first two Tony Hawk games was when you land a trick, you can, I think it's called reverb or revert or something. It's where you spin the board around on its wheels, and then so if you're in normal stance you go to goofy, or if you're in goofy you go to normal. And basically just change the position that you're in, and then you can manual right from that, and then you can go up to another pole and grind it, or you can go up a ramp, a hand plan, or do another trick, do a flip trick, do a grab trick, and you can just loop your tricks together, and just it multiplies the points you get so much. You keep your tricks going on for forever, and it's so much fun. It's a good way to get a lot of points. I mastered it, and this is one of the few games I can beat my friend in. I won't say his name, but he usually beats me in just about every game. If you're watching this, yeah, you know who you are. But I can beat him in this, which makes me feel good. So yeah, such a fun game. Highly recommend the Tony Hawk series. Next up, Gran Turismo 3, A-Spec. Racing game. Great graphics, great sounds. They actually recorded the actual sounds of the different cars that they make and use them in the game. Tons of cars by all the world's top manufacturers. I'm reading off the back here. And it's a very realistic driving simulator. But it's a little too realistic for my taste. Turning in this game is impossible. I can't do it. I tried. I gave it my best effort. I couldn't figure out how to do it. And it's such a difficult game, but it was fun. I like the arcade mode better than the main mode, original mode or whatever, simulation mode. But yeah, it's fun to collect the cars. I think it was a, what do you call that? It was a Toyota car they made in the 80s. Not a Prius, obviously not a Prius. I forget. Supra, Toyota Supra. I had a Supra in this one, white Supra. Straight out of the 80s, great car in real life and in the game. I souped it up after winning some races. I got some money and souped it up and had a lot of fun doing that. I didn't get very far into the game. I only beat like the first couple races and then I just gave up because I don't know, the game's just too hard. But it was fun, and if you want a challenge, Gran Turismo 3 is a great challenge. Next up, Shadow of the Colossus. Oh wow, what an original game this is. Yeah, you play as this boy who is in this mysterious land, very beautiful graphics, the lighting is beautiful and the shadows, and there's all these enormous stone structures and mountains in the distance and vast fields with trees and whatnot. And you go around and you're this tiny little boy and you fight these giant monsters called Colossi. And each one has a different way of beating it, and that's the fun of the game, is figuring out how. And it's so much fun. Challenging, yes, but it can be done. I did beat this game and I was very glad I did. I did not like the ending of this game. I was very disappointed. I thought the opening scene was cool. I forget exactly what happens, but it's kind of mysterious, and I think you wake up and you're like, what's going on? You don't know where you are. You don't know why you're there. And every time you beat a Colossi, something like the shadow of it, the spirit shadow thing of it, comes out, and you see a shrine of the Colossi collapse in the main hall that's there, and you get to ride around on a horse in the game, going to the various battles. So yeah, that's all this game is a bunch of boss battles, but they're a lot of fun. This is a very original, unique game, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't played it, you are missing out. Next up, Twisted Metal Black. If you like Twisted Metal, you know what it is. It's car combat. You drive around in a car or a truck or an ice cream van or something, and it's loaded with guns and missiles, and you go around fighting other cars. And I'll show you some gameplay on the back there. My favorite character is Roadkill. I think he's the most well-rounded. On the cover here you have Sweet Tooth, obviously. This is a little bit darker than the 4 Twisted Metal games on PlayStation 1, but I like this better than all of those. A lot of people like 1 and 2. 3 and 4 were pretty much agreed upon as being not so good, but I think because the studio changed hands or something. But this is a great game. They really brought back the essence of Twisted Metal. It's a lot darker. The stories are very dark. All the characters, I think, are in this insane asylum. They all have very twisted stories. I like the cutscenes in this game. You get a prologue at the beginning of the story, when you select a new character, you see their prologue, and then after you beat all 8 or 10 missions with the game levels with that character, you see their epilogue, and it wraps up the story. They're very interesting, very dark and twisted, but it's kind of cool. I used to just blast music after high school. Back in high school, I used to just come home, blast music in my headphones, and just play this game. It's a great stress reliever. But yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of characters to unlock, and I highly recommend this game. It's great. Okay, we're getting there, about a little less than halfway through. Next up is Red Faction. This is a first-person shooter in 3D. It's a great first-person shooter. One of the features of this game is geomod technology. Basically what that is, if you throw a grenade at a wall, it'll blow up a hole in the wall. And you can actually dig tunnels that way in the game. You can keep blowing up holes in the wall and you can make a tunnel. They figured out a way to make it so that you could do that. Yeah, interesting story. I think it takes place on Mars. Basically, you're a slave for this evil corporation, and there's a revolt, and you become one of the leaders, and you have to fight the bad guys. And it's a lot of fun. It's kind of an underrated game, but a lot of people do know about it now. Yeah, highly recommend it. Next, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. This is the sequel to Metal Gear Solid 2. This one takes place in the 60s, so it's kind of a prequel. They introduced the survival elements of the game, so you have to eat, you have to hunt and eat, so that's where the name Snake Eater comes from. You can eat snakes in the game, you can eat other types of animals too. And it's basically the same type of game as Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. It's stealth, action, a lot of the same controls, really interesting cutscenes. Cool, it takes place in the 60s. I find that time period fascinating. You get to play as Big Boss when he was younger. Big Boss is one of the main characters in the Metal Gear series, if you don't know. Yeah, great game. Huge fan of Metal Gear, so I highly recommend it. Next is NBA Street. Basketball game. It's 3-on-3, and it's a lot of fun. You basically take NBA players from each team, you pick a squad of 3, and you go at it. You play all the other teams in the league, and then there's bosses, which are just made up people, and if you beat the game you unlock Michael Jordan, I think you get him right at the beginning. Actually, if you beat the game you unlock like an alien or a Yeti or something like that. I don't know. But it's a lot of fun. I don't really play it that much anymore, but it was a lot of fun when it came out. It was very original. I'm not that huge into sports games anymore, but this one is one of my favorite sports games. A lot of fun. Next up, Medal of Honor Frontline. This is a World War II first-person shooter. The opening mission is on D-Day, which you can see depicted on the cover here. Very fun level. Very interesting level, exciting level. I'll show you the back here. You can see they're stepping off the Higgins boat in Normandy, and to storm the beach, and then the story goes on from there. It's a great game. You know, it's not the best first-person shooter, but if you like killing Nazis, and you like first-person shooters, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Alright, next up, Freedom Fighters. This is a third-person shooter. I think it takes place in the future, where Russia has invaded the United States, and you're a plumber, and you have to lead a rebellion against them. So there's squad combat, there's third-person combat, and it's fun. I never beat it. I just got bored with it. But it's a very interesting game. I remember renting it and liking it a lot, so I had to buy it. Yeah, but like I said, I never beat it. Next up, Zone of the Enders. As you can see, it comes with a Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, which I do have right there. This is a fun game. It's basically you're in a robot, giant robot, and you fly around space, defeating other robots. And you play as this little boy, and you kill other robots. And there's a bit of a story to it. It's a lot of fun. It's produced by Hideo Kojima, who also created and produced the Metal Gear series. So this is a really interesting game, and I do recommend it. Next, Soul Calibur 2. Okay, this is probably my favorite fighting game of all time. I just love the story, the setting, the characters, the music, the controls. I just love everything about it. I played the heck out of this game in high school. I play as Nightmare as my favorite character. Yes, if you saw my Dreamcast video, you know that I have a friend who I play this a lot with, and he plays as Taki, and he does kick my ass a lot. But I'm not that bad at this game, and I can hold my own against a lot of people, you know, and this game is just so much fun. Soul Calibur 2, sequel to Soul Calibur, and Soul Blade. This is my favorite fighting game of all time. I just love the controls. Very easy to become accustomed to. Yeah, I love the characters. This is the PlayStation 2 version, so you get Heihachi from Tekken. In the GameCube version, you get Link from Zelda, and in the Xbox version, you get the guy Spawn from the Spawn series. So that's interesting. But yeah, if you haven't played Soul Calibur, you're missing out, man. Next up, Splinter Cell. This is a stealth action game, kind of like Metal Gear Solid, but very different at the same time. It's a Tom Clancy story, and it's a lot of fun. You play as Sam Fisher, who works for not the CIA, some offshoot of the NSA, National Security Agency, or something like that. And you're a secret agent, and you have to stop terrorists or something like that. And it's a lot of fun. I beat it back in the day, and then I bought it, and I couldn't beat it. I just got stuck, and I lost interest. But it's a lot of fun, and the newer ones are pretty cool. I played a little bit of them, but I still like the original the best. Next up, Killzone. This is a first-person shooter, only on the PlayStation 2. Very gritty graphics. You play as a human, one of 4 human characters you get to choose from, and it's a first-person shooter, and you have to fight off the Hellgas, which are like this evil race or something of aliens, and yeah, they've invaded your homeworld or something. You have to fight them off. It's a lot of fun. I did beat it back when it first came out. I tried to play it again last year, and I got stuck on a level. It was very hard. Not the best first-person shooter, I do want to say. The controls aren't the best. They're a little clunky. But all in all, it's not a bad game. I haven't played 2 or 3 or the Shadowfall one, which was just released on PlayStation 4. But I hear they're good. I hear they improved upon the original. But yeah, I like Killzone. I like it a lot. Next up, Need for Speed Underground. This is a racing game. Basically, you get cars and you can trick them out. You can have them any color you want. You can have upgrades and stickers and decals they're called. Yeah, and the graphics are really cool. The lighting effects are really cool. You know, it's just a fun game. It's probably my favorite Need for Speed game ever. I have played several of them. Yeah, I like this game a lot. Next up, we got 3 more games. NHL 2001. Bought this, was one of the first games I got for PlayStation 2. I am a big fan of hockey. Go Devils. This is a good game, good sports game. It's basically a 3D hockey game. I don't know what else to say. It's a lot of fun. The controls are good. Music's good. It's a fun game. If you like hockey, get the NHL series. It's great. Next up, another sports game, Madden 2004. This is my favorite Madden ever. 2004 was the best year. As you can see, Michael Vick's on the cover before his incident with the dog fighting thing. But anyways, this is a really good game. I love the controls. I'm actually not bad at it. I'm halfway decent, and that's why I like it. Most of the new Madden games are really complicated. I can't figure out how to play them. But this one is just complicated enough to make it interesting, but just easy enough to keep you coming back. It's a lot of fun. I played the heck out of it. Got it for like $3, so I was really happy to get this game. And the final game in my PS2 collection is Hot Shots Golf 3. This is a golf game. It's kind of cartoony, lighthearted, humorous, but it's a lot of fun. First played this in college. My friend had a PS2 and we played it a lot, so I had to buy it myself for my own collection. And it's tons of fun. I love the mechanic. The gameplay mechanics are a lot of fun. Really easy to play. Anyone can play it, even if you don't like golf. I don't like golf, but this game is a lot of fun. And my brother and his friend play this game way more than I've ever played it, which is cool. Glad to see they're enjoying it. Yeah, it's a fun game. If you haven't played the Hot Shot series, I do recommend number 3, which is the one I have here. I've never played any of the other ones. I think they're up to 4. I think 4 came out for PS2 or maybe PS3, probably PS2. I don't know if one ever came out after 4. But yeah, this is a great series of golf games. Give it a try, even if you don't like golf. So, that wraps up my PS2 collection. I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear your comments. If you have any questions, concerns, please leave them in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and like and share this video. More videos will be coming. Also want to thank all my new subscribers that came from 7bitgamingaustralia.com. I want to thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel, and look out for more videos soon. Yep, that does it. Thanks for watching.